Eso.
Getting enough rest. What time you going to sleep at night? You need to put the phone down at this time, and just all that. Not really. Sometimes I'll go off of that, but.
Israel Madrimov. He is older than Canelo. He is coming up in weight. He is coming off a long layoff. I can't look at Canelo Williams' school.
Joe Rogan and Terence Crawford have responded to Canelo Alvarez's intense training footage by highlighting the importance of balance in a fighter's preparation. While they acknowledge that such dedication is impressive, they emphasized that rest is just as crucial. According to them, true readiness for a major fight requires not only physical strength, but also mental focus, not just relentless, hard training.
Your technical training, everything's got to come together.
Everything. But when you, and it's crazy because like in the past interviews, I was like, man, Canelo too big, man. It's weight classes for a reason. I was like, nah.
Canelo Alvarez is seen training intensely for his upcoming fight against Terence Crawford, displaying remarkable determination and focus. His sharp, deliberate movements reflect his commitment, signaling that he's fully prepared for the highly anticipated showdown.
There's guys that just have preposterous power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andy Ruiz. You know that shield, that weird hand shield that they hold up for hooks? Yeah. And he's like, this is not for speed. This is just power, just power. He's like, don't try to be fast with this, just power. And you see him just, hey, boom. Bro, he hits so hard.
Eso. Venga. 5, venga. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
Following Canelo Alvarez's recent victory over William Skull, many fans have begun rallying behind him ahead of his upcoming clash with Terence Crawford. Supporters cite Canelo's momentum and extensive experience as major advantages, while also pointing to potential challenges for Crawford, namely moving up in weight and being older than Canelo. These factors have led much of the boxing community to believe that Crawford is heading into an uphill battle.
Terence Crawford has had one fight above 147 pounds, and everyone, including Terence Crawford, will tell you that was not his finest performance against Israel Madrimov. He is older than Canelo. He is coming up in weight. He is coming off a long layoff. I can't look at Canelo Williams' school and say, you know what? Canelo is too far in a decline to beat Terence Crawford. Not until I've seen what Terence Crawford looks like at 168 pounds.
Yeah, same here. And even though we could see Canelo Alvarez diminishing, we're still going to favor him because he's been in there with the bigger, stronger men. Crawford's not going to be able to hurt him. Crawford will be able to pepper him up, win rounds. Like I tell you, I have an image of Canelo Alvarez after the fight. He's going to be bloodied and bruised because he's going to get pot-shotted. He's going to throw 2-3 punches, pepper him up, and then get an angle. Then once Canelo starts realizing I'm falling behind here or I'm getting hit too much, I got to do something great, that's when Crawford's going to have to get on his bike.
Despite the criticism and concerns, Terence Crawford remains unfazed. He views the matchup with Canelo Alvarez as a chance to test himself and silence the doubters. Crawford has faced larger opponents before and doesn't see size as a barrier. He's determined to prove his critics wrong, believing that heart, determination, and skill are more than enough to overcome any size disadvantage.
Like, because of the challenge. Yeah. I love the challenges. And I love the people that, I hear them now. You're too little. Canelo gonna break you. He's gonna stop you. You come from 147, that weight too big, this and that. I can hear now. And that just excites me to go in there and just be like, okay, let me prove him wrong once again.
That fight would be gigantic. If Canelo gets through Jamel and then you guys fight, that fight would be gigantic.
And it's crazy because, like, in the past interviews, I was like, man, Canelo too big, man. It's weight classes for a reason. I was like, nah. But in my mind...
Rolly Romero acknowledged the significant weight difference between the two fighters, but still threw his support behind Terence Crawford. He admitted that size does play a role in boxing, but emphasized that Crawford's talent and determination shouldn't be overlooked. Romero expressed hope that Crawford can pull off the upset, saying he sees something special in Crawford's potential to defeat Canelo.
Canelo. I hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Really? Yeah?
Now, I'll tell you like this, I mean, the weight division things, you know, but I hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Why do you want to see Crawford beat the ish out of Canelo?
I just hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Why? Like Canelo, is it because of the last fight? Like you haven't been a fan of Canelo, or like why? Like you like Crawford that much? Took your coffee.
What Canelo did on that day was disrespectful to boxing. It was just simply disrespectful to boxing in every way. Canelo.
Terence Crawford's coach issued a firm warning to Canelo Alvarez, stating that underestimating Crawford's toughness would be a serious mistake. He highlighted Crawford's courage and relentless fighting spirit, suggesting that overlooking these qualities could result in surprising consequences in the ring. His message served as a powerful reminder of Crawford's resilience and track record of rising above adversity.
The thing about Crawford is he got guts. Them bums ain't have no guts. Them bums didn't want to win. Crawford want to win. That's it. It ain't about no belt. It ain't about nothing. You didn't sign the contract. We want to win, and he want to be the best, and he is the best. So that's what's going to be the difference. You know, Crawford got guts. He got a fighting spirit. So when you see Crawford, he going to go in there and get busy with Canelo. Don't you even doubt that. You understand? You ain't never seen Crawford stay on the back foot in no fight in his life. You understand? He the type of guy to go get you. So expect him to go get him. We going to do everything we can to him. We going to do whatever we got to do. But one thing you can expect is Crawford is going to step to him. Because you can't beat Canelo going on the back foot forever. You got to go get him. You got to do something. And he better know Crawford is coming.
Despite widespread attention on the weight difference, former NFL star Antonio Gates voiced strong confidence in Terence Crawford's power and skill. He argued that Crawford's technique and ring IQ give him the tools to beat Canelo Alvarez. Gates even went so far as to call Crawford the best boxer in the world and predicted he would emerge victorious in the showdown.
Terence Crawford, Canelo.
Yeah, I believe Terence Crawford is going to be in top shape, and I believe he's good enough to outpoint Canelo. But I believe the power would be a challenge, if you will. So I'm going to say Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford?
Because I think Terence Crawford is the best boxer in the world.
You got Bud Crawford and Canelo. They're slated to fight in September.
It's going to be an interesting fight. Honestly, it's kind of 50-50 in my opinion. Obviously, Canelo's got the weight and natural size advantage, but Bud's very technically skilled and sharp. Yeah. So it's going to be a good fight.
Amid the growing anticipation, Canelo Alvarez acknowledged Terence Crawford's accomplishments and hinted at the possibility of a future bout, saying, "You never know, maybe one day I wake up and want to fight that guy." His comment reflected a mix of measured confidence and respect for Crawford, while reinforcing Canelo's standing as one of boxing's elite.
I fight with everybody, with every champion, with all the best out there, and when somebody approach you like that and call you out like that, you don't need to give them money. So, and like I say, I can do whatever I want now, and just I don't like that way he approached.
Do you think Terence Crawford is approaching you in the proper way?
I think he's wanted the fight and doing respectful. You know, I want Canelo. No, nothing bad, saying bad things about me or whatever. No, but like I say, you never know too. You never know too. Maybe someday I wake up and I say I want to be that guy, right?
Yeah, and look, you've earned this. You've earned this right.
Yeah.
With all you've done for the sport, you're the face of boxing. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And I understand you've earned this respect. So you give respect for everyone. You're a respectful guy, and you want respect back.
Yeah. I always respect my opponents and every.
Shakur Stevenson shared his thoughts on the potential matchup, emphasizing that in boxing, skill not size, determines the winner. He expressed strong belief in Terence Crawford's ability to beat Canelo Alvarez, stating that Crawford's high skill level can overcome any physical disadvantage. Stevenson voiced full confidence in Crawford's chances of coming out on top.
I'm like this nice because of Bud. Like, me truthfully, like, I done got better through the years. Like, not even just being in the ring with him, but even being outside the ring.
Get it.
Watching his demeanor, watching what he doing in his sparring, watching his training camp, how hard he trained. Like, dog, I owe Bud a lot, so I'll never even talk about too much sparring.
Yeah,
like.
I got you.
Shakira, everybody just keeps saying, bro, he lighting the ass, the weight. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
what do you
but
say about that?
I think skills pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's not as little as people think. Like, people think he like very small.
He cut weight to get to 147, 154.
Yes. Yeah. He's not as small as like people think. It's just he look like it.
Yeah.
So like if you see him
in person
and he get on a scale or something, you wouldn't believe that's his weight.
I told somebody the other day, he might get on the scale weighing like 166, 167 fighting Canelo, and people wouldn't believe how ripped up and cut up he'll still look. He won't look like he's overweight Terence Crawford. He gonna look like a solid Terence Crawford.
I think he beat Canelo though. I've been saying, I remember when he fought when they fought. Go watch an interview after the fight. I literally said, I think Terence Crawford will beat Canelo.
Okay, I would say.
During his training camp, Terence Crawford's dedication has been clearly evident, particularly during intense leg day sessions. He's been seen powering through squats, lunges, and other resistance exercises designed to build explosive strength and balance. This focus on physical conditioning highlights just how seriously Crawford is preparing, fully aware of the challenge that awaits him in facing Canelo Alvarez. Although Canelo remains the favorite for many, his performance against William Skull raised some eyebrows. The fight featured a record low total of just 445 punches thrown between both fighters over 12 rounds, highlighting a noticeable lack of urgency and aggression from Canelo. Critics worry this may be an early sign that age and years in the ring are starting to take their toll.
I'm going with Terence Crawford, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
On the other hand, Mikey Garcia believes Canelo will come out on top, largely thanks to his natural size and punching power. Garcia highlighted that Canelo's physical dominance could prove overwhelming for Crawford, particularly if Crawford struggles to match his intensity. This perspective is shared by many who value experience and power in high-stakes matchups.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled.
In his most recent fight, Canelo threw just 152 punches, significantly below what's expected from a fighter of his caliber. Critics pointed to his apparent lack of urgency and raised doubts about whether he can still keep up with fast-paced opponents like Crawford. These concerns about Canelo's agility and stamina have added fresh layers to the ongoing debate.
I'm a fan of that fight. There are too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154. And he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size. Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even greater for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and at that point it's more of a big fight, for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Bivol again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys.
After moving up to 154 lbs, Crawford captured the WBO interim super welterweight title. While some observed a decline in his knockout power compared to his days at 147 lbs, his technical precision and strategic mindset have stayed sharp. His composure under pressure and skillful in-fight adjustments make him a formidable opponent, no matter the weight class.
Left us with the question, how much does Canelo actually have left in his pro career? The fight was finished, and then they brought Terence Crawford in the ring to announce that mega fight in September, and that leaves me with even more questions, and thank God they did that, because actually it gives us a few interesting talking points from this. Enough left. Well, you could argue Canelo got it tactically wrong tonight, because I just don't understand why he didn't use his jab more. I understand that he was conserving energy, he was patient, he was taking it slow. He doesn't lead off with the jab much anymore, Canelo. But really, the jab helps you bring your feet closer and bring them into range. So I don't understand why he wasn't jabbing more. It can't use that much extra energy for him to not be able to use his lead hand just a bit more in that fight. So that was a bit concerning. And you could maybe argue that he knows Crawford's ringside. He knows the fight is done for September. He maybe doesn't want to show him too much, or he wants to give him maybe false confidence or false hope. I don't think that's the case. I think you get rid of Skull if you can. And I'm just not sure Canelo is able to do it anymore at that level. Definitely good enough to beat a guy like Skull. Skull was clearly terrified of the power, but, what does this mean for a fight like Crawford? Well, the first thing I noticed was in the face-off, and I'm sure Crawford was wearing quite thick-soled trainers, as he quite often does, but the size difference didn't look that bad. It really didn't. I thought...
As excitement builds, the debate over Crawford versus Canelo remains split. Canelo's supporters point to his power, experience, and size, while Crawford's camp emphasizes his discipline, skill, and tactical brilliance. Both fighters have earned immense respect, making this potential matchup one of the most anticipated in modern boxing. Ultimately, it may not be the weight on the scale, but the heart in the ring that decides the outcome. With both camps fully committed and fans eagerly watching, this fight has the potential to become a historic moment that redefines what truly matters in a championship bout.
Be great. That'll be 3 times. If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo. 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights where he still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness. But I mean, he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that smoke.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more.